because I was born here in Kampala, here in Lusira.
In November 2016, the former Member of Parliament for Nakawa, Michael Kabaziguruka, petitioned the Constitutional Court to challenge the constitutionality of the General Court-Martial in trying civilians. 5 years later, to be exact, on July 1, 2021, the Constitutional Court struck down several provisions of the UPDF Act in a landmark decision that annulled the trial of civilians in the military courts. Wasting no time, the government, through the Attorney General, on 6 July 2021, appealed to the Supreme Court to challenge the decision of the Constitutional Court. On 31 January 2025, 4 years after an appeal was lodged by the government, the Supreme Court hammered the final nail in the coffin by agreeing with the Constitutional Court decision that nullified the trial of civilians in the military courts. However, the Supreme Court set out conditions under which military courts could be instituted. Among these were the appointment of members with a legal background, the requirement that chairpersons hold the rank equivalent to that of a High Court judge, and the provision of a window for appeals to a civil court.
This is a reconstituted General Court-Martial manned by lawyers who are professional in the field of law. Interviews with the Judicial Service Commission. Chairpersons of the panels, each is qualified to be a High Court judge, and we met those requirements.
On 20th February 2025, the government withdrew an earlier proposed UPDF amendment bill in a move intended to allow the incorporation of provisions for the reinstatement of the General Court-Martial. On 13th May 2025, the government tabled a revised UPDF amendment bill containing sweeping changes to the military justice system. On 20th May 2025, just 7 days after the UPDF amendment bill was tabled, it was passed by the House despite strong dissenting voices from a section of the public and members of the opposition. On 16th June 2025, it was confirmed that the President had signed the UPDF amendment bill into law as an Act of Parliament. The approved statutory instrument fully restored the powers of the military courts to try civilians. On December 3, 2025, 21 new members of the instituted General Court-Martial, headed by Brigadier General Richard Tukachungurwa, were appointed by the President on the advice of the Judicial Service Commission. On 7th January 2026, the newly appointed members were sworn in at a ceremony held at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala. On 11th February 2026, the jail veteran politician Dr. Kiza Besigye petitioned the Constitutional Court to challenge the resumed trial of civilians by military courts in what could be a protracted legal battle. After more than a year in abeyance, the General Court-Martial in Makindye has resumed operations.
A1 is remanded to Makindye military police cells.
Jackson Onyango, NTV.